My mom created a fun way for us to learn the most important rules of life. Yah's command.
With Yah's Big Ten commands, we get to see His what's best for us.
Keep Yah first.
No graven images.
Don't take Yah's name in vain.
Remember Shabbat and keep it holy.
Honor your parents.
Do not kill.
Mr. and Mrs., don't cheat.
Don't steal.
Don't tell lies.
Don't covet.
This changes everything. Get your set of Yah's Big Ten commands at Big Ten Designs today.
Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land.
Identity. We are bombarded by images of who we think we are every day of our lives. But some people don't think. They know. How about you? I didn't know my true identity, culture, heritage, or roots. As a Christian, I was told the only thing that mattered was my identity was found in Christ. But what about the Asian, Arab, Coptic, or European believer? Do they know their identity? Does it matter to them? How about you? This is who they tell us we are. This is what we know. But is it the truth? Take a journey with me as I share my story of faith and identity and discover why both life in the Savior and identity matters. Why our past, present, and future hinges on the knowledge of our true identity. Why all believers in the Messiah must wake up before it's too late. As the world gets darker, it is time for Yah's people to shine their light. Who you really are is one of the most important questions on earth. It's time you knew.
Israelite. Israelite. Israel. Israelite. Israelite. How to know your identity without losing your Savior. Israelite!
I believe in you. Tell me, do you believe in you? It's all consumed.
All right. Grace and peace, fam. Grace and peace. How y'all doing tonight? I'm playing around with this, trying to get it going right. Y'all see me in the back with my little non-technical self trying to figure this thing out. Shabbat shalom, fam. Welcome once again. All praises to the Most High. I want to give a shout out to the person who left a comment on my last live about the song that I mentioned in my last live. All praises to the Most High. I really appreciate your comment. Like, you just really encouraged me a lot. And as soon as I saw your comment, I went in and I plugged the song back in and I listened to it on repeat like 5 times. And I'm just really thankful. I'm thankful to Yahuwah for worship. Man, I'm thankful to Yahuwah for worship, right? Because worship is powerful. Praising Him, like keeping our eyes fixed on Him, especially in this day and in this hour, is literally it's our lifeline. So, you know, if you're not a worshiper, you're missing out. You are missing out on your joy and your peace that surpasses all understanding to be able to get through the challenges of life, because trust me, life is challenging. Like, I gotta tell you that, like, you don't know, right? And shout out to those of you who have signed up for my email blast. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later tonight for the book that y'all just saw the promo to, that's coming to a bookstore near you. Praise Yah, Israelite. How to know your identity without losing your Savior. I'm so excited about this work. If you're wondering, this is not my first book. It's not my first writing project, but it is the one I'm the absolute most passionate about for many reasons. And we'll talk more about that later, but let's go ahead and give a shout out to the family, because y'all are here in the building and I love you. So I want to give a shout out to my sister Malaka. Connect in spirit and in truth. Malaka Adaya. Yo, this sis is incredible. She's doing amazing things. She's from New York, you know. I'm just saying. So Brooklyn, right? Brooklyn in the house. Sis, if you ain't from Brooklyn, I think you're from Brooklyn. But anyway, she is amazing, y'all. She's doing awesome things with Pastor Rick Fletcher with worship and helping the mishpachah who are in need. So y'all check out her channel and connect with her. This journey in the building, peace and blessings to you. Good to have you here tonight. Sister Janet Powell, good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. Sister Bernetta Jones, peace and blessings to you. Brother Brandon Higgins in the building, peace and blessings to you. I want to give a shout out to Damian Jones. Shalom to you. Melanated by Yahuwah. Shalom, shalom, salama, mishpachah. That's what's up. See, Benaiah had to teach me how to say that word right. I was like real Southern. I was like mishpachah, like Tupac. Okay, I know that was a little corny and a little cringe, but mishpachah. Brother Timothy in the building, peace and blessings to you. Good to see you, my bro. Sister Marcella Mitchell, peace and blessings to you. Got Clipper Possible up in the building. What's going on, bro? Jay High Style in the building. What's going on, bro? Good to see you once again. Thank y'all now. Shalom, shalom to you. All right, got Lily Michelle, peace and blessings to you. Got baby bro, second Exodus up in the building. That's right. Hit those thumbs up. Hit those thumbs up. If you have not already subscribed, what you waiting for? Come on now, it's live over here. It's always lit, right? I mean, I'm just saying, it's always lit. No matter what the topic is, it's lit. So go on and subscribe. Love, peace, and blessings to you. Hallelujah. That's what's up. All right. Charles West in the building. Peace and blessings to you, my brother. All right, I'm going to get a couple more in, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to have our conversation tonight. Daily Bread, peace and blessings to you. Thank you for coming in here. Got AaronandAshanda. I probably messed up your name completely, but shalom to you anyway, Ms. Makai. Peace and blessings to you, and thank you for coming in. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you enjoyed that live. Yeah, that was something. And all praises to the Most High for doing what He does. Yeah, I'm messing up y'all names tonight. Y'all forgive me. Don P in the building, peace and blessings to you, and so much media, peace and blessings to you as well. Finally, y'all's grace, peace and blessings to you. If I did not give you a shout out, you know, I love you anyway, okay? That's all I can say. I love you anyway, all right? So we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, thank y'all so much for coming in tonight. Thank y'all. We got a lot to talk about. It's just a lot that's happening. And, you know, just like the other night where we were talking about, particularly when it comes to the civil rights law and how they pull the wool over our eyes and the symbolism of it. And so tonight we're going to be dissecting another important topic dealing with this Trump presidency. And I told y'all, I said, listen, fam, we got to support each other, right? I told y'all that we have to support each other because, you know, we are living in a time where we know that even the little bit, like the breadcrumbs that we have, they don't want us to have that, right? So what we do have, and what we had before the civil rights law was even enacted, which many of our ancestors had to suffer through, was being able to work together, build up, and out of their jealousy and spite, them tearing down. But we're living in a different dispensational period. And for that reason, we have got to support one another. So with that in mind, I'm going to give a shout out to this month's sponsor, right? Because I am so encouraged by what this brother is doing with Bombshell Impact Design Agency. And so I want to give a shout out once again to his company. Empower your mission with Bombshell Impact Design Agency, fam. Y'all need to reach out if you are a business, if you're a nonprofit or a small business in the USA or in Canada, and you want to amplify your impact, then you need to go with Bombshell Impact Design Agency. They specialize in helping social media or social impact organizations and small businesses thrive through creative solutions and expert consulting. So they can help you secure funds, help you to build your brand. They got you covered in all that. I mean, you need grant writing or proposal writing, they do it. Nonprofit consulting, they do it. Branding and marketing, they do it. Website or graphic design, they do it. They're passionate about empowering nonprofits and small businesses to make a difference. So through impactful visual communication and strategic support, they're going to help you achieve your goals and stand out in today's competitive landscape. Listen, family, go check out their links in my description, okay? Check out their links. Get to know the company, support. If you want to make an impact for your community, then support Black business. All right. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to support each other tonight. We're going to get those thumbs up. We're going to get those shares and those subscribes. And if you have a small business or mid-sized business and you want to promote and you want to sponsor on this channel, then just reach out to me. Just email me, ashanda@large11@gmail.com, and we will have a conversation. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's talk about what is happening. So I don't know if y'all are aware, but Trump is doing some stuff. Okay. He is doing a lot, right? He is like doing the most, right? He's just doing too much. I mean, he's just doing too much. And a lot of what he's doing is like overhauling a lot of the things that people have, grown comfortable with and the symbolism of it. But some of the things that he's doing has real consequences. It has very real consequences, and particularly on us. And so tonight we're going to be talking about those consequences, and we're going to be talking about some of those things that Trump is doing that's deeply impacting our community. And we're going to, kind of dig through, and we're going to read between the lines of some of the language that's being used, because some of the things that he's saying, he wants to try to act like it's for our best interest, but really it's not. So I want y'all to take a look in terms of what he said concerning censorship, okay? And the executive order that he's putting out. Y'all take a look at this.
I'm Matt Gelka in Washington, where one of President Donald Trump's first official actions since taking back the White House took aim at government censorship. Part of the executive action taken this week by President Donald Trump includes an order to not allow the government to limit free speech.
In America, we believe in free speech, and we're bringing it back starting today to stop the weaponization. Oh, do I know about that, these creeps?
The move is the next step in a long-running grievance the president and his supporters have had with the previous administration and pressure on social media companies to limit disinformation. Part of the order reads, under the guise of combating misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation, the federal government infringed on the constitutionally protected speech rights of American citizens. The order comes as big social media CEOs have done away with checks on their platforms.
We're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free.
So before I even let that continue, I want y'all to put a pin in what Mark Zuckerberg is saying right here. And it is laughable to me. And I will share with y'all why I say that in a little bit, but put a pin in what this man is saying.
Roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms.
The order also calls for an investigation into instances where the government may have censored content over the past 4 years.
If we turn a blind eye and we don't take the time to do the investigation, I think you run the risk of this type of thing happening again in the future. And so I was pleased with that executive order.
While fighting back against perceived government weaponization has been a rallying cry for Trump and his supporters, it's unclear what kind of teeth the order might have, with pundits wondering if the pressure will now be coming from the Trump administration.
Let's imagine that there are controversies that arise in the coming days, weeks, and months, maybe about immigration. Is Trump going to want these platforms to quiet some of the critics?
A lawsuit looking to limit government communication with social media companies about content moderation was brought to the Supreme Court, with the High Court ruling in favor of the Biden administration last year. The justices said the plaintiffs, including Robert F. Kennedy Jr., failed to show how they were harmed by the previous administration. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
Okay, so you see Trump is talking about how he's going to put an end to all this government censorship. He's going to put an end to the censorship that stops American citizens, right? Because we are supposed to have the constitutional right to freedom of speech, right? The Bill of Rights, that's the first amendment, is the right to freedom of speech, freedom of expression, all of that good stuff, yada, yada, yada. Do me a favor and tell me, how many of us know in the chat that when they talk about America, they're not talking about black folk? Put a 1 in the chat if you understand that is the reality. If you think that America, when they say America, that they're talking about the Negro population, you go ahead and put a 2 in the chat. But if you know that when they say America, they ain't talking about us, okay? I used to watch the news, right? And they'd be like, unemployment is down. It's 13-point-something%. It's gone down. I mean, under this administration, new jobs are being created left and right. And when I was in my colonized mind and delusion, I was thinking, oh, wow, that's great. It's down and there's more people getting jobs. And that's when the reality had to hit me that they wasn't talking about us, because I think when theirs was at 13%, ours was like 18%, right? And I'm like, well, why did they say American? And my naivete, praise y'all for revelation. Exactly, bro. Palm-colored folks. When they say America, listen, when they say America, they mean palm-colored. When they say DEI, they mean you. Now, come on. That's why I'm like, why do we get so frustrated when that man said what they all believe? When he said, black people ain't Americans. I mean, technically, y'all came over here as slaves and then y'all just got citizenship. You get upset, but the truth is that that's what they all believe, and that's why they create policies and put everything in to the law and into corporate society to reflect what they really believe. And we be sitting here like, oh, am I a part of the American dream? No, bro, you are part of the American nightmare. Okay, that's the way it's designed. It's been designed that way. Well, let's talk about this because, like I said, he's talking about, putting an end to censorship, right? But when it comes to us, we know that there's always something different, right? It's never, when it comes to us, equity. We talked about equity being an economic term, having to do with your finances anyway, the bottom line, right? But there's a lot that goes into that. There's a whole lot that goes into that. That's not just a one thing, right? Because when it comes to us, remember, we don't really fit the bill for American citizens. When it comes to us, we are DEI. We are the people of color. We're the ones that they have to tolerate. So this is how they're tolerating us. This is how Trump believes that censorship should work. For the American citizens, they should be able to say whatever they want. But when it comes to us, right, they shouldn't have to be barred from saying anything that they want to say about us. I want y'all to take a listen to this.
This month, your administration directed federal agencies to end racial sensitivity training that addresses white privilege or critical race theory. Why did you decide to do that, to end racial sensitivity training? And do you believe that there is systemic racism in this country, sir?
I ended it because it's racist. I ended it because a lot of people were complaining that they were asked to do things that were absolutely insane.
Now, did you hear what this man just said? He said, I ended racial sensitivity training because it was racist. Excuse me? Isn't the whole point of racial sensitivity training to address racism? But see, this is how they play the games. This is how the game starts. He wasn't the president at this point. This was when he was running against Biden. And I believe he was running against Biden and Biden won. But this is what he was saying when he was being asked about his views on racial sensitivity training.
That it was a radical revolution that was taking place in our military, in our schools, all over the place. And you know it, and so does everybody else. And he would know.
What is radical about racial sensitivity training, sir?
If you were a certain person, you had no status in life. It was sort of a reversal. And if you look at the people, we were paying people hundreds of thousands of dollars to teach very bad ideas and frankly, very sick ideas. And really, they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow that to happen. We have to go back to the core values of this country. They were teaching people that our country is a horrible place. It's a racist place. And they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to allow that to happen.
Family, this is your president. No, I'm teasing. I know he ain't your president. But this is the man that America voted into the White House. The man that says that racial sensitivity training was teaching them that America is racist. Oh! I'm going to take a quick poll. If you believe that America is racist, put a 1 in the chat. If you believe that America is not racist, put a 2 in the chat. I'm just going to take a poll. I know when it comes to us, they don't really care, right? Because they avoid the truth like cats avoid baths. Okay? America's racist. I mean, I just don't even. It's the gaslighting for me. It's the gaslighting for me. Racial sensitivity training is to address the systemic roots of racism in the country that was literally built on the back of slavery to a specific race of people. Yes, he is picking up exactly where he left off. 100%. But see, they want to gaslight you, and they want to gaslight me, and they want us to believe, like they did with Tim Scott, America is not a racist nation. But they built this country on racism and slave labor. This is, you see, yeah, it is sad. You know, yes, that's right, because the Most High could have ended his life. But America's been racist from the very beginning. And the sad thing about it is that it's never that way when it comes to other folk. It's never that way when it comes to other folk. It's that way when it comes to us, but it's never that way when it comes to other folk. Right?
And here's what I will do to defeat anti-Semitism and defend our Jewish citizens in America. My first week back in the Oval Office, my administration will inform every college president that if you do not end anti-Semitic propaganda, they will lose their accreditation and federal taxpayer support. Okay. Truth is, you don't have to do much after that. When you do that, it's going to work miracles. Please sit down. We will not subsidize the creation of terrorist sympathizers, and we're not going to do it certainly on American soil. We're not going to do it anywhere. Next, I will inform every educational institution in our land that if they permit violence, harassment, or threats against Jewish students, the schools will be held accountable for violations of the civil rights law. Very important. Jewish.
I'm sorry, violation of the what law? So the time frame that he said this, it was during this election when he was trying to get the Jewish vote. And he said, what? Let's run that back real quick.
Very important. Jewish Americans must have equal protection under the law. They're going to get it. At the same time, my administration will move swiftly to restore safety. The schools will be held accountable for violations of the civil rights law. Very important.
Schools will be held guilty, will be penalized for violation of the same law he just overturned? Come on. The law that was supposed to have been put into place for us? The Civil Rights Act, with laws that were supposed to be put in place specifically for us. Yes, ma'am, I do believe that's what I heard. The civil rights law he removed. You see, I don't have rose-colored glasses on. We can't afford to. Let's continue.
Jewish Americans must have equal protection under the law. They're going to get it. At the same time, my administration will move swiftly to restore safety for
Jewish students and Jewish people on American streets.
Thanks for watching. Stay up.
Now, family, it's unfortunate. Yes, that's right. On MLK Day, that's when he decided to end the civil rights laws impacting particularly hiring practices for the new byword, the DEI. But family, this is where we're at. This is the nation that we're in. And we need to understand clearly that this nation does not perceive, never has, and never will perceive you and I as equal citizens or Americans under the law. Because to teach people that America's history is racist, according to Donald Trump, is racist. But at the same time, that when a group of Europeans who practice the religion of Judaism, they feel like someone hurt their feelings, then we're going to punish the schools because they can't violate the civil rights law that we're going to take away from Black people who we were supposed to be having the law put in place for in the first place. That's it right there. That's it right there. The veil is being removed. The veil has been removed. We got to understand the censorship thing goes deep. I'm going to share an article with y'all from NBC News. How Trump ignited the fight over critical race theory in schools. Critical race theory is also a byword. I'm going to tell you the new bywords. DEI, critical race theory, Hebrew Israelite. Those are the bywords. Those are the words that when you hear those buzzwords, you are supposed to throw up in your mouth. If you are not a Negro or you are a Negropean, you're supposed to throw up in your mouth when you hear those words because they're divisive. They're divisive. Republican lawmakers across the country have proposed bills to ban critical race theory in K through 12 schools. Here's what that really means. Now, if you know anything about critical race theory, it was never even in K through 12 schools. It was in colleges. But because they're so afraid of their own history, they created a narrative that didn't even exist. And then they said, well, this possibility that critical race theory could be taught in K through 12 schools is a real threat. Oh, we don't mind teaching LGBT issues. We can teach LGBT issues from K through 12. But we are definitely not going to teach about the history of America. And then what we're going to do is under a conservative presidency, we're going to conflate the two issues. And I'm going to show y'all how they do that too in a minute. We're going to say LGBT and critical race theory and anything pertaining to Black issues is all a part of what's called wokeism. That's what we're going to do. And we want to put an end to wokeism. So 12th grade English teacher Kari Aubrey says she and her students at Collegiate Baton Rouge often talk about current events, including efforts across the country to ban diversity education and what is being characterized as critical race theory. Louisiana is one of many states where legislators have proposed bills to bar educators from teaching divisive concepts like white privilege and racial equity. The bill has faced heavy opposition in the state, but Aubrey said she and her students are still concerned. A lot of students expressed really wanting to feel like their teachers care about them as people, not just as students. I believe you can't really care about a person unless you take their full identity into account, she said. noting that most of our students are Black. We're basically saying the students are not allowed to learn in the context of themselves. It's very disturbing. Okay? That's exactly what they're saying. You cannot learn in the context of yourself. Because you learning in the context of yourself, that intimidates me, because it puts a big old mirror in front of my face for me to see myself for who I really am and my people for who they really are. And I can't have that. I can't have my children seeing anything like that. See, nobody ever asked our children, nobody ever asked us when we were in school how we felt about it being shoved in our faces that we were mediocre. Because that's how they trained our thought points around history. For the time we came here, we was just a bunch of, servants and slaves, and got our backs beaten and worked on crops, and that's all we did. And it was the rebellious ones that wanted to fight against that system, that social class order that the Negroes really liked. The Negroes didn't have no problem under slavery. It was just them rebels. You see, that's what they tell themselves. My goodness. And yes, they love making movies about it. They all are the heroes. Always. Come on. We need to have some real talking here. This is what they don't want. This is a censorship. This is what they don't want. See, when I ask y'all to hit the thumbs up, what you need to understand is that I'm not asking you to hit the thumbs up because you like what I have to say. It may not make you feel comfortable for those of you who like to listen in the back. I'm asking you to hit the thumbs up because you need to understand that I'm fighting against censorship. I am literally fighting against censorship, which I will share with y'all later on tonight. But the censorship of my channel does not just affect my channel. It affects all of our channels and the information that you have access to receive. You won't have access to receive the information if you don't fight with us. Because you need to understand that hitting that thumb up button, it forces the algorithm to show my videos and the videos of the people that you're listening to. And if you withhold that thumb, because today's topic, I wasn't excited about it, then other people can't get access to the information. And that's working with the machine instead of against the machine for the benefit of us. Let me continue. A cluster of bills that aim to prohibit teaching critical race theory in K-12 schools have popped up in the last year. Lawmakers behind the Idaho bill said critical race theory tries to make kids feel bad. How many of us know when they're talking about kids, they're not talking about our children? They're not talking about our children. Listen, mods, if anybody's acting a fool, you go ahead and just block them, put them out. I don't know why you're blocked, Sarah. I have no idea. That wasn't me. And this is how YouTube works. But I'm just saying, family, they're not talking about our children. They're talking about their children. They don't want their children to feel bad about what their forefathers and foremothers did. And in Tennessee, legislators accused such practices of promoting division. Meanwhile, a Rhode Island bill bans teaching the idea that the United States of America is fundamentally racist or sexist. Conservative leaders have been accused, moved up too far, of using the decades-old academic term initially intended to recognize the systemic racism inherent in American life as a catch-all for anti-racism and diversity efforts. The proposed policies mimic former President Donald Trump's September memo ordering the Office of Management and Budget to stop funding training on critical race theory for federal employees. Keeps going up. Calling it a propaganda effort. Around the same time, he condemned the 1619 Project, a Pulitzer Prize-winning 2019 New York Times report led by reporter Nicole Hannah Jones that holds America was truly founded not in 1776, but in 1619, when the first enslaved people were brought to the colonies. Educators embraced this message and began utilizing the project and looking for resources to teach a more holistic history of the country. Let's say it all together, family. Revisionist history. Let's teach revisionist history and call it holistic. Because we can't tell the truth that America was started and built up by the people that we brought over here to not even look at them as people, but as animals under a system that we defined as chattel slavery. I'm already there, bro. Shout out to Hebrew Connect TV. Yes, I've been on Hebrew Connect TV, and I recently just got back on since Brother Benaiah has been working with that team. So yes, I'm there. I'm on Rumble now. Yeah, because we have to diversify. Even though I didn't want to necessarily have to move around to different places, I'm being literally forced to. That's why I'm having this conversation tonight. Revisionist history at its finest. It's serious, family. Now listen to what Trump did about the 1619 project. He rebuked the project as warped, distorted portrayal of American history. Both the memo and this attack sparked the commission of the 1776 report meant to combat the contents of the 1619 project. The countrywide uprisings in the wake of George Floyd's deletion only fueled the matter, with pundits debating the nation's fraught history of racism. Thus, although President Joe Biden reversed Trump's initial ban in January, the seed had been planted. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Now, I want y'all to understand the idiocracy of everything that you just heard, particularly when it comes to the words of Donald Trump and what he had to say about the 1619 project, because he's denying the 1619 was the beginning of American society, truly, not 1776. He denied it there, but interestingly enough, and I shared this a few years ago, for those of you who don't know what this man does and what he did, I'm going to share it. This is presidency.ucsb.edu or edu. President Donald Trump signs H.R. 560, H.R. 1242, and all the mother H.R.s. We're looking at H.R. 1242. Let me zoom it in so you can read it along with me. H.R. 1242, the 400 Years of African American History Commission Act, which establishes the 400 Years of African American History Commission to plan activities to commemorate the 400th anniversary of the arrival of African Americans in the United States. This is what he signed. He signed into law the recognition of 1619 being the time when our ancestors came onto the shores of the United States. And what did they do when they got to the shores of the United States? Family, did our ancestors get to the shores of the United States and begin to buy land, develop land, and build and prosper? Or did our ancestors come over in 1619 and begin to work as the enslaved and build up their nation? So he's calling it an arrival. You know what I'm saying? He knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. And it's so irritating when he pretends
Like he doesn't know what anybody's talking about with this whole thing with 400 years in 1619. Y'all take a look at this. This is after he signed that.
Celebrating the birth of American democracy. President Donald Trump visited Jamestown today to mark 400 years since the first representative assembly in the New World. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Anita Blanton.
And I'm Tom Shad. We'll have team coverage of this landmark anniversary tonight. And on your side's Andy Fox was there to hear the president's message. Andy.
Tom and Anita, it was a positive speech. It really was, and it was very well received. Many Democratic members of the General Assembly, though, did not show up, protesting what they called the president's unacceptable, even racist rhetoric on race. With a pomp of hail to the chief, President Trump on hand to spread cheer, recognizing 400 years of representative government to the day in Jamestown.
They came from God and country. They came in search of opportunity and fortune.
The president gave credit to those Jamestown settlers who carved out what we are.
Together, the settlers forged what would become the timeless traits of the American character.
The president's speech interrupted by a protester who was recently elected to the House of Delegates in February, Ibrahim Samira from Northern Virginia, who was escorted out of the president's speech and caught the ire of State Senator Tommy Norman.
That one interruption in front of the president, I think, was frankly a disgusting abuse of a delegate's power and position.
Many Democratic members of the General Assembly did not attend the speech, a speech that noted the evils of slavery and the contributions of African Americans.
In the face of grave oppression and grave injustice, African Americans have built, strengthened, inspired, uplifted, protected, defended, and sustained our nation from its very earliest days.
I'm sorry. Did y'all hear what I just heard? Remember, I just read to you that he blasts the 1619 Project for talking about the fact that, quote unquote, African Americans built America, built this nation, that's its real foundation. And what did this man just say out of his mouth? Let's listen again. One more again.
Contributions of African Americans.
In the face of grave oppression and grave injustice, African Americans have built, strengthened, inspired, uplifted, protected, defended, and sustained our nation from its very earliest days.
From our country, from its what? From its very earliest what? From its very earliest days, not 1776, 1619. I mean, the cognitive dissonance is out of this world. The grand delusion is out of this world. This is the same man that is fighting against critical race theory, that's fighting against the true history of America, but just came out of his mouth, out of his entire mouth, and acknowledged the truth.
African Americans.
In the face of grave oppression and grave injustice, African Americans have built, strengthened, inspired, uplifted, protected, defended, and sustained our nation from its very earliest days.
The president also noted the future based on the foundation of what happened 400 years ago in Jamestown.
For in America, no challenge.
Based on the what now? Did they not just say foundation of what happened in America? Don't let them confuse you, family. Don't let them confuse you. They know exactly who we are. They know exactly who they took, and they know exactly what they're doing.
Challenge is too great. No journey is too tough. No task is too large. No dream is beyond our reach. When we set our sight on the summit, nothing can stand in our way. America always gets the job done. America always wins.
The president noted how Jamestown led to these eventual accomplishments. They started the nation, tamed the Wild West, won our independence, ended slavery, advanced civil rights, created the airplane, defeated the Nazis, brought communism to its knees, and planted the American flag on the moon. And Trump says it'll soon be on Mars as well.
Do you see how these people lie to themselves over and over and over again? They lie to themselves over and over and over again. And the problem is that when it comes to censorship, our people are the ones that are deeply impacted by it because they want to silence the truth. They want you and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren to be ignorant of the real history of America. Tell me, I want y'all to be honest with me. Put a 1 in the chat if you knew that back in 2017, 2019, that Trump signed that bill into law. Put a 1 in the chat if you knew that. You personally knew that. And if you didn't know that, put a 2 in the chat. Praise Yah. For those of you who knew. Some didn't. Some didn't know. I remember when this bill was signed. I know this is new to me. You see what I'm saying? Some didn't know. I'm so glad for those of us who did, but some did not know. There was an entire celebration that took place during that time. And that's the thing, is they get our hope up with all the symbolism all the time and making us think that this stuff is really going to change things, because y'all need to understand that America is the most narcissistic nation in the world. So they give you a little bit of trinkets and symbolism, make you think that things are going to change, but they really ain't changing nothing.
400 years. That's how long it's been since the first Africans landed at present-day Fort Monroe, and many in the region are commemorating it. This morning, local and state leaders took to the podium to recognize the dark history and to look to the brighter future. 10 on your sides, Deanna Batnashi takes us inside today's ceremony.
There's power in the truth. There's power in knowing our history.
Today marked day 3 of a multi-day event to commemorate the first landing of enslaved Africans. A ceremony was held where local and state leaders came together to share the importance of this day.
This commemoration challenges us to reject the simplistic versions of our history and, quite honestly, confront the complicated truth.
The transatlantic slave trade was one of the most cruel atrocities ever perpetrated by humankind.
It's a painful history for many, but one that's important to continue to tell and recognize.
If we're going to be a country that truly lives up to our founding principles, then we need to tell the whole truth about our history. The good, the bad, and yes, the ugly as well.
U.S. Representative Karen Bass talked about what it meant for her to be at Fort Monroe for the first time.
The emotion that I feel in listening to the speakers tell the truth. Tell the truth. The sad thing about our nation and why we continue to have the issues we do is because we have denied part of our history.
Did y'all hear what she said? The emotion she feels because they're telling the truth. They're telling the truth, which is that tells you it doesn't happen too often. But there's this glimmer of hope that we're headed in the right direction. We can finally get to a space where we're having these conversations. This has been a very abusive relationship, and I really want to have this conversation with you. And they're like, yeah, we're going to have this conversation. And, you know, what happened to y'all was terrible. Yeah, let me tell you, all the stuff that we went through, it was graphic. It was painful. Yeah, I know. I know. And, you know, for that, I tell you, I really acknowledge it. It was a bad thing that happened. I mean, when you think about what happened to our people, though, I mean, and what's still happening. Okay, now, haven't we talked about this enough? Haven't we talked about this just a little bit too? I mean, come on. Like, isn't it out of your system already? I mean, I thought we were gonna have a conversation about this and get to some place of healing. Yeah, I mean, that's all good and well, but I think you're just being a little bit too aggressive with this conversation. You're making me a little uncomfortable having this conversation now. It's just a little too much for me. I don't want my children to feel bad.
Were many moments that brought the crowd to their feet. One of those moments was when Governor Ralph Northam talked about something he wanted to do moving forward.
That's why earlier today, I signed an executive directive to establish a commission on African American history education in our Commonwealth.
The events continued throughout the day. There was drumming and dancing, cultural activities, and storytelling. More activities will continue tomorrow for Healing Day, where they'll be ringing bells across the nation to honor the Africans who first arrived here in 1619. Deanna Bettineschi, 10 on your side.
And this is how they get us, y'all. This is how they get us every single time. With the symbolism, the fake acknowledgments. We understand that what happened to you was such an atrocity. It's still an atrocity. What happened and is happening. Because that was then. This is now. The U.S. Department of Education, January 23rd, 2025, by the way, if you're wondering. U.S. Department of Education takes action to eliminate DEI. United States Department of Education is taking action to eliminate harmful diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, including references to them in public-facing communication channels and its associated workforce. These actions are in line with President Trump's ongoing commitment to end illegal discrimination and wasteful spending across the federal government. They are the first step in reorienting the agency toward prioritizing meaningful learning ahead of divisive ideology in our schools. It's divisive. Following President Trump's recent executive orders and initial guidance from the Office of Personnel Management, the department removed or archived hundreds of guidance documents, reports, and training materials that include mentions of DEI from its outward-facing communication channels. The department also put employees charged with leading DEI initiatives on paid administration leave. Get out. We'll see how long it's paid. These review efforts will continue as the department works to end discrimination based on race. Excuse me? End discrimination based on race. How? When the entirety of the DEI program was instilled because of discrimination based on race and the use of harmful race stereotypes, both within the agency and throughout America's education system. So these are things they want to end. Diversity and Inclusion Council, they dissolved that. That's effective immediately. Background: the Diversity and Inclusion Council was established in the following order: Executive 13583 under then President Obama. President Trump has rescinded the executive orders that guide the council and issued a new executive order ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs and preferencing that terminates groups like the Diversity and Inclusion Council. DEI documents issued and related action taken by the council have been withdrawn. I'm telling y'all, this is where we're at. Whose race? Exactly. Whose race? Not ours. Remember, I told y'all to remember what Mark Zuckerberg said earlier, right? Remember what he said, because he said on social media and our platforms, we want to allow for the use of free speech once again. We don't want free speech to be stifled because it's not fair. We need to be able to get out there and let people say what they need to say. So, you know, I was thinking, you know what, I just wrote my book and I want to go ahead and promote it. And so I haven't been on Facebook in years. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new Facebook page, and I'm going to create an ad for my book. So as I was starting to do the process of creating the page, there was glitching that was happening. And I didn't understand why I just kept glitching. So I kept refreshing the page and refreshing it. And then I went to, once I finally could, at least I thought, start the page, I went to find out how I could create an ad. So I go in to create an ad, and the minute that I started to create an ad, the screen switched over, and this is what it said. Ashanda at large, we suspended your account. 180 days left to appeal or will permanently disable your account. And what this means, your account is not visible for people on Facebook right now, and you cannot use it. It was suspended on the day that was January something. Why this happened? And I believe they said that it's harmful content. It does not follow the community standards. Family, I didn't say nothing. I mean, I literally didn't even say nothing. They suspended my account before I could even get on there. I was like, huh? That's wild. That's crazy. That's crazy work, as the young people would say. What'd I do? I didn't. I'm like, it's my subscribers sharing all my videos on Facebook. If y'all gonna get me on Facebook, that's gonna be the only way I'm gonna get on there. Because they suspended my account. Diabolical. So I said, you know what? That's wild. But you know me, I keep it pushing no matter what. So I was like, you know what? It's all right. It's all good. They want to be like that. It's cool. It's cool. I'm going to go ahead and just put my ad on YouTube. I've done YouTube ads before. Y'all's Big 10 Commands. That was an ad on YouTube. And so I'll go ahead and put my ad on YouTube. Then the next day, yeah, I blame Ron too. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, that's really, I mean, that's the price you pay, right? But the next day I said, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put my ad on YouTube. You know, I've done this before. It's no biggie. And I got this email from Google. Ad one impacted by Google Ads policy, YouTube promotion. Disapproved. I said, what? They listed 2 reasons. For whatever reason, my destination wasn't working. I don't even know why, because it's a brand new website. And then they said, the second one, religious belief in personalized advertising. And I'm like, that's wild. That's crazy, right? Because I know that I just like last year put out y'all's Big 10 Commands. And I'm like, I mean, that's literally the 10 Commandments for children. But now you're going to tell me that religious belief in personalized advertising because of the very ad that y'all see every time you come on here. So I said, okay, like, what is that? That's crazy. So I looked up their policy, and this is what it said. Religious belief in personalized advertising, personal religious beliefs. Examples, non-exhaustive, places of worship, religious guidance, religious education or universities, religious products or topics. Shout out to those of you who have gotten y'all's Big Ten commands. I hope your children like them. Yeah, that was a whole YouTube ad. That was a product. So I went in and I looked, okay, marginalized groups and personalized advertising. Membership in a marginalized or vulnerable social group, such as social caste, immigrants, or refugees. They banned that too. Products oriented towards users based on social caste, services for immigrants, legal services for refugees. How about this? Race and ethnicity and personalized advertising. Can't do that either. Personal race or ethnicity. Racially or ethnically oriented publications, racially or ethnically oriented universities, racial or ethnic dating. Now, I'm going to ask y'all a question. I'm just going to ask y'all a question. How many of y'all have been scrolling through your YouTube and you'll see a video of a Jewish person saying, stop, do not go any further. If you go further, then me and my babies, we're going to be deleted. You must not. Tell me if y'all seen them ads. Tell me, come on, I can't be the only one who's seen them ads. I cannot be the only one who's seen them ads, man. I mean, I'm just wondering. Because I'm like, okay, I see y'all. Let me put y'all up here real quick. I was checking on something because I wanted to show y'all something real quick. Brother Tiffany, you haven't seen that? Good for you. I'm happy you haven't seen. Those ads play 50,000 times a day. Mormon ads too, okay? Yes, I've seen the Mormon ads too. I did a great impression. That's because I said, stop everything you're doing right now. Right now, stop. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. That is so interesting. I'm going to show y'all this video. I don't know why I didn't have it saved correctly, but I'm going to look it up and show it to y'all. Because to me, it's wild, right? That this is what they say. But look what they're willing to show. And I can't say it was YouTube who did this, but look at what social media is willing to show. Y'all take a look at this.
When he first saw it, he was shocked. He looked quite disturbed. He knew it was something he wasn't supposed to see. And one of the first images that appeared for him was like a child's backpack with lots of blood. So he looked very distraught and he came running to me and said something like, "Mom, what is this bloody ad doing on my phone?"
So that's what they're willing to show to little children. That's what they're willing to show. But my ad talking about your real identity, talking about your faith in the Savior and knowing who you really are outside of the crayon color, that got banned. Oh, it is. It is indeed. You got that right. Because how is it that they don't allow religious anything? But I see this.
In this video, I want to show you one of my favorite tricks on worship piano to make you sound more professional. The best thing about it is it's super simple. It takes just a few minutes to learn. Hey, brothers and sisters, my name is Jared Messer. I am the founder of worshipmusicacademy.com. I am so thankful to have you here to check out this video. All right, I'm really excited to share with you this one simple trick that I've used for so many years to help people learn to play simpler, but also to give them a very professional sound. And
I see that ad all the time. Why? Why are we being censored? We know why we're being censored. So again, when I say get the thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe, I'm saying it for a reason. When I say family, go sign up for my email blast. I'm saying it for a reason. You see, because in the past, I would do email blasts, and I really didn't understand just how deep this was. I knew the censorship was bad. I have been in YouTube jail several times, but I'm really understanding, especially now that Trump is in office and all the things that he's doing, that we really don't have a lot of time left as content creators on these platforms. This is why I went and I moved to different avenues and different places. But if I get shut down, you need to understand that if I don't have a way to be able to reach y'all, then that's the end of Ashanda at Large. Because they can decide when they want to do what they want to do. So when I asked you to sign up for my email blast, yes, it is about the book, but it's also about communication. That's why I pinned it there in the comment section. Shout out to those of you who have already signed up. I mean, if you're cool with, you know, just watching my channel on YouTube, and if it gets shut down, it's not a biggie to you, that's fine. Don't feel free. I mean, you don't have to sign up. But if you like this content, if you're enjoying what you hear, if you know that this content is blessing you and is blessing your family, is blessing your loved ones, I get emails from y'all telling me that this channel makes an impact in your lives. And if it's making an impact in your life, then do me a favor and sign up. If you've already signed up for one of my other email lists, you can sign up for this one again, but I am going to be bringing over your email address once I get the opportunity to really put them all together, because it's serious. Brother Benaiah, I believe he's already moving his channel completely. This censorship is very serious. It's not a joke. I'm telling you so much that it's not a joke. Thank you, Just Reese. I appreciate you. Because family, there's some real things that are in the pike. I'm talking about censorship, but I need y'all to understand where this man is at, where his headspace is at. I found this out tonight. President Donald Trump signs executive order on the federal deletion penalty, calling it an essential tool. This is where his headspace is, fam. It's not just about keeping us quiet. We know so many brothers get targeted and put into the prison unlawfully for crimes they did not commit. The impact that what he's trying to do right now could it have on them is serious. President Donald Trump signed an executive order on the federal deletion penalty January 20th. He signed it on the day that he was brought in. Among the first actions of the second term, directing the Attorney General to pursue the deletion penalty for all crimes of a severity demanding its use, prompting statements of concern from Catholic opponents of the practice. Trump's order, signed just hours after he returned to the White House, also directed the Attorney General to seek the deletion penalty regardless of other factors for every federal capital crime that involves the deletion of a law enforcement officer or a capital crime committed by an alien illegally present in this country. And don't think they're only talking about them, y'all. You know they're not. DEI was originally supposed to be about them, and somehow it came over to us, so we were supposed to be Americans, right? Okay, whatever. It also directed the Attorney General to encourage state attorneys general and district attorneys to pursue deletion sentences and to take all necessary and lawful action to ensure that each state that allows capital punishment has a sufficient supply of DRUGS needed to carry out lethal, okay? He titled it Restoring the Deletion Penalty and Protecting Public Safety. How many of our men have been cuffed up and didn't do anything, found innocent after years behind bars for a crime they didn't commit? That's where we're at. It reminds me of a verse that I was reading earlier. Y'all have heard it before. It's in Revelation. We start in chapter 8, Revelation chapter 2, verse 8. And unto the angel of the church of Smyrna write these things, saith the first and the last, which was deleted and is alive. I got to be careful about my words. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but you are rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say that they are Away and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Fear none of those things which you shall suffer. Behold, the deed shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be you faithful unto deletion, and I will give you a crown of life. That's the time that we're at now. That's the time that we're at. Mark 13. And he went out to the temple. One of his disciples said unto him, Master, see what manner of stones and what buildings are here. And Yahushua answering said unto him, See thou these great buildings? There shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives over against the temple, Peter and James and John and Andrew asked him privately, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign when all these things shall be fulfilled? And Yahushua answering them began to say, Take heed lest any man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the chosen one. Did y'all see that? Okay. I am the Christ, and shall deceive many. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in divers places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows. But take heed to yourself, for they shall deliver you up to councils. And in the synagogues you will be beaten, and you will be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them. And the gospel must first be published among all nations. But when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what you shall speak, neither do you premeditate. But whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, that you speak. For it is not you that speak, but the Ruach HaKodesh. He's going to speak through us. He's going to lead us. He's going to shepherd us, and he's going to guide us. Because he's letting us know that these things are in alignment with the sign of the times. So we're working while it is yet day, right? Because night comes when no man can work. But we need to be aware of where we're at in this dispensational period. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Queen Adaya. We're living in unprecedented times. And for that reason, we must put more and more of our faith and our trust into our master. But let's not be ignorant of the devil's devices. We got to be strategic. Remember, our ancestors were extremely strategic. They did not have the ability to do what they did without strategy. The Underground Railroad was with strategy. So I know that you might be used to seeing us on these platforms, but let's develop some strategy so that we can be able to still work together as a solid unit, whether we're on YouTube or on Hebrew Connect TV or Rumble or any of the spaces that we can have as alternatives. So I can reach y'all via email and let you know what I'm doing if this thing gets shut down. All right. So family, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. And I don't want to discourage y'all, but I just have to be honest with you about where we're at. Yeah, the more things get worse, the more excited we get, but then we have to play it off like we like we're really concerned. Yeah, you know, I think sometimes when it comes to us as a people, there is that part of us that wants to, you know, we do see where we're at in society, but we still have to function from one day to the next. So I don't think it's playing it off so much. I just think because we still have to function from one day to the next until Yahuwah gives us direction about when we're leaving, what we're doing. So I think that's really where we're at. And that's what us meeting here and being in these spaces gives us the opportunity to be able to really deal with the issues at hand. And that's what they want to cut off. They don't want us to be able to have these conversations. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's not what they want. Well, family, that's all I have. I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I'll be back on Friday, y'all willing, for a very important panel discussion. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Like I said, go ahead and sign up for that email blast. I will also pin it in the comment section. Check out my description link also for Impact Design Agency if you need some assistance with your small business. Brother Bruce Paris in the building, thank you so much for your gift. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for supporting this platform. You've supported many times, and I really appreciate that. Wow, they are an unrepentant and reprobate people. Blessings. That is the truth. That is absolutely the truth. And, you know, the Most High is going to deal with them. Praise y'all. We've got 64 signups so far, so praise y'all for that. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, family. Again, thank you for supporting me. Like, share, subscribe, and support. And you can always do that after the broadcast on Super Thanks. And you can do that through Cash App and PayPal as well. If you want to continue to see this work get out and you want to support it, definitely do so. I appreciate it. I love y'all very much, and I'm thankful for y'all showing up. Continue to be who you are. Continue to trust Yah in this day and this hour, because Yah knows we need it. All right, family. As always, love yourselves while hating your enemies. And until next time, Yah bless. And so